Welcome, everybody. This is our first podcast that we are recording, so appreciate you being here. Today, we're going to talk about everything that's going on with the stay-at-home order, Mike DeWine. So specifically, if you live in Ohio, what we've been feeling, what we've been going through, and everything in between when it comes to the economy.
So what have you been feeling?
Oh, bored. I don't know.
Bored out of your mind? I mean, there's not much to do, right?
You know, with me, I've been able to do a few things. So coming into the office has really helped break up my day. I know my girlfriend is furloughed right now, so she's going a little bit crazy, little kind of cabin fever going on. But being able to do that, as well as I have a place up in Marblehead. So I don't know if anybody is familiar with Cedar Point, but it's the peninsula right across from Cedar Point. So go out there, go hiking, go out to the tip of the beach, and not a soul around. So definitely have been good.
I mean, a lot of people have been furloughed. That's a big issue right now. A lot of people are seeing. I mean, there's a lot of things going on in the economy from an unemployment standpoint that we got to keep an eye on when we're talking about finance and things like that. I mean, the thing is, we got to keep kind of an idea about what's happening in the world as well as staying safe while understanding that we're trying to make the best out of the situation as well. And that's kind of a hard balance that we're trying to keep right now, right? Like you said, we're trying to keep everybody safe. People are, throwing a fit about wearing masks out in the public. I mean, myself, I don't want to wear a mask out in public myself, but I'm going to have to because it's going to be a requirement here in Ohio from what I heard. Mike DeWine is going to make it a requirement to go into these essential, non-essential businesses, restaurants, bars. I mean, did you see the restaurants and bars opening? They're going to have like a shield basically to order drinks from. I mean, can you imagine walking up to like a bar and just saying, "Hey, I want a beer"? You got to duck underneath this screen and say, "Hey, give me a beer."
Well, I mean, honestly, I don't know if I'll go if that's the case. Kind of just keep doing what I've been doing. I've been saving a ton of money. I really need to work on my budgeting because it's just outrageous. I mean, I've seen my credit card statements cut in half, even more. So with having those in place, I mean, we've seen them. You go to the grocery store, you go to the gas station, you see these screens. So I understand them, but I think the biggest thing we need to realize here is that these restaurants are going to be at maybe a 25% capacity.
Maybe, if that.
And with the amount of overhead they have, especially, I mean, think about Shooters on the lake in Cleveland. If you've ever been there,
that place, yeah.
That's a lot of overhead. So I understand it. You have this balance of kind of what we need to stay healthy, but what do we need to keep the economy healthy? And I wouldn't want to be Mike DeWine right now. I can tell you that much.
And talking about Shooters, for example, a lot of these restaurants and bars, they rely on like live music to, make their business run, right? Live music and all these concerts and things probably aren't going to happen. Like these are all canceled probably until next year.
Yep.
Like none of these musicians want to actually go out and perform live.
Well, it's not that they don't want to go out. They just can't.
They can't, and they don't want to. Maybe a lot of them don't want to because maybe they're older. Maybe they're going to contract the virus. Like there's a lot of issues going on. I mean, like myself. I mean, I want to go out to eat restaurants. I like the social aspect of things. I hate just sitting indoors all the time. I like to socialize with people. I like to talk. I like to engage with people. And that social aspect, I miss so much. Every Monday and Tuesday, I used to go out and get wings every Monday and Tuesday.
He's not lying, guys.
I can't do that now. So, it's not the same thing as it used to be. And because of that, I can't wait to actually just go out and do something, go to a restaurant. Even if it means me social distancing from everybody, ordering underneath, a plastic screen and just kind of, sitting there and drinking a beer. I just want to talk to somebody. I want to have that social interaction again with people.
But there's kind of different aspects of this. So you have that whole musical aspect, right? The people that are going to the bars, I understand your point, where maybe they don't want to be around it. They don't want to put themselves in that situation. But where I was getting at is those bigger artists. So I had Halsey tickets. Yeah. She just pretty much every big artist is canceling their 2020 tours and just either letting you get a refund or putting that ticket to 2021. So, I mean, we're seeing that more and more. In that case, I don't think they want to do that. No. They kind of have to. I mean, you think about Blossom. You're going to be on top of each other. I don't care if they draw little circles in the hill that you sit on. It's not going to happen. So those things kind of have to occur. And then going back to the actual restaurants, I think there's going to be different sectors of people. There's going to be the individuals like you that are just itching to get out there. I mean,
can't wait.
This poor guy's in a studio apartment right
downtown
now.
Cleveland, just chilling, can't do anything. That's the reason I lived in downtown Cleveland in the first place, was to actually do stuff. I mean, that's why I didn't want to live in the suburbs. I didn't want to go out and buy like an apartment or a house even outside. I said I want to be in the city because I want to go out and do things. I want to have fun in the nightlife. I want to engage with people, have this social interaction. I mean, that's a big part of our business, is talking to people and understanding their situations and stuff. And that's what I enjoy. And I just miss that. And I can't wait for that, like I said, to get back into that. But talking about my studio apartment, I mean, it's totally different now living in an apartment.
You're trapped. You're in a little prison cell.
You're trapped, and people now are just weird. I hate to say it. They're different. Because if I'm walking down the hallway, maybe people used to say hi to you.
They're doing that thing where they're stuck against the wall, shuffling.
I got in the elevator like a couple of days ago, and I was just going up the elevator to get to my apartment, and the elevator stopped, the door opened, and it was just me in there, and I didn't have a mask on or anything. The guy looks into me and says, "I'll get the next one."
Well, I mean,
I understand it, but people are different now.
Yeah,
I miss the saying hi, how you doing, people? I miss that. Yeah, it's just even in an apartment building, I see it.
Think about our elevators. We have a sign out there. You look at this sign and it says what's right and what's not right. So the first one, it's got a conglomerate of people and they're all on their cell phones and everything. The other one has two individuals and they're facing away from each other. So that's the proper way to ride the elevator, which is funny, but
just put your backs to each other and completely
don't touch me,
get away from me.
So I get it, but on the other case, we kind of go back to this balance. So there's a lot of states that are, Texas, for example, just boom, went for it. And I'll say it again, I would hate to be in Mike DeWine's shoes. I think him stepping back and kind of extending and watching the other states kind of do it, that's a strategy, right? He's not going to be the bad guy. He's going to let those other states, unfortunately, be the testers, and just see what happens.
To be the testers, but he's also, there's two sides of it, right? He opens too soon. He's risking everyone getting flack to him. He's not going to be reelected because of it, maybe. That's an issue, right? Mm-hmm. Because down the road, people say, you opened too soon. I don't like what you did. I'm not reelecting you as governor. Stuff like that, right?
Right.
It's an electable position. He's got to worry about that stuff. So let's say he opens too late. Well, then Ohio jobs completely go out and they never come back. Well, then he risks completely destroying the Ohio economy. That's a big issue. That's why all these elected politicians are really struggling right now, because they want to get reelected, but they also want to make sure that they do the right thing and keep the economy open. It's just a huge situation right now that we're seeing, and something we haven't seen before in history.
So what's unemployment at right now?
The numbers say 15%. I would say real unemployment is probably above 20%, and we're probably going to hit closer to 25 to 30%.
And that's just, think about those numbers. It's absolutely insane. We just went from record lows to boom, right back up. So the longer we let this go, the harder that's going to get destroyed, because I have half my friends at least have been furloughed. And, if you're furloughed, that's a good terminology, because it means they want you back, right? So, and it's an even better sign if they allow you to keep your medical benefits. Yeah. So that furlough word, that's a good word. If you're being laid off, not as good. And obviously if you're fired, you're fired. So just being able to go after that unemployment, that 600, there's people that are making more than they were before this happened. And what does that do to your motivation?
It de-incentivizes everything.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If you don't have any motivation to get back to work, if businesses can't hire back because people are making more money from unemployment benefits, that's a huge issue for small businesses.
Would you want to go back? Ask yourself that question.
There's been studies done already. We've seen reports that, New York's a whole different story, because obviously New York is very bad.
It's sad and nasty.
It's nasty, very bad, but they also cost a lot to live in New York. So a $15 an hour wage in New York's probably more like minimum wage, $8-9 here, right? That's probably the same amount that they're getting. So you hear stories in New York that these jobs or grocery stores may be hiring for $15-20 an hour, but these people don't want to go back to work because they're making more from the unemployment system than going back to work.
Yep.
Now, again, New York's a unique situation, but here in Ohio, it's not that far off, right? If you're making, $35,000-$40,000 a year here in Ohio, and you get the $600 on top, they're probably making more, or if not the same than they were than working. Now, the unemployment benefits last till July right now. So if they get extended, that's when we're really going to see an issue. If they don't get extended, then yeah, you only get 2-3 months of this additional benefit. Then you get knocked back down, which can
give you that motivation. Yeah,
exactly. So that's a thing we're seeing right now. It's really going to be interesting to see the numbers.
Yeah.
As they come out in a couple months to see what really happens. If people do go back to work, if we start seeing a huge issue of people not going back to work, how long is this unemployment rate going to stay the same?
Right. And it's not just the employees. You got to look at the small businesses as well, because, if you missed it, we did a podcast on PPP, which is going to be the payment protection that was put into place for all of these small businesses. And we've seen a lot of things. One, the money went up like smoke, right? Anytime you give out free money, it's going to go up like smoke. So I have a good buddy who just went into the bar business with his dad, was unable to reach that. We heard the stories of the Lakers getting their hands on it, the Harvard getting their hands on it.
Businesses, yeah.
I mean, they have to give it back, thank God, but it just went up like crazy. So they're talking about additional, right?
Right. But one thing to keep in mind, though, if these big businesses, yes, it's like interest-free. There's a lot of benefits to taking the loan. It's forgivable, right?
Yeah.
So it's understandable that these big businesses want to take advantage of that.
Right.
But what if these big businesses are actually hurting? Like, what if we always said small businesses are really going to be the ones that are affected by this, and they are. But what if large businesses are also really hurting more than we actually think?
Yeah, I mean, in our industry, dealing with transferring money from different organizations, different like let's say banks or custodians or anything like that, we've noticed doing these calls to help people get their money where they want to put it so that they can be in an effective investment strategy. I mean, you have to jump through hoops. We're going from having to make a phone call to now you have to call the company. You got to get paperwork. You got to get your spouse's signature and notarize when nothing's open. So how are you going to get to these notaries? How are you going to do that? I know with some banks, they want you to actually go into the branch so that they can verify your identity before they allow you to take your money.
It's becoming harder. I mean, it's like they don't want you to get the money or transfer the money out. I mean, that's the thing is, are these banks maybe more
in bigger trouble
than we actually think? I mean, that's something to keep in mind. I'm not saying they are. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that the numbers will show that. But, I mean, that's something you have to keep in the back of your head when you're really taking a look at everything holistically, especially when you're talking about the markets, right? You're looking at all these different variables, all these different numbers. You got bulls, you got bears, you got people taking different directions on the market. I mean, the thing is the market and the economy are completely separate right now.
Oh, yeah.
In the economic terms, we're in a recession, maybe a depression in economic terms. But the market's 10% off all-time highs.
Yep.
I mean, what's the difference between the two? And that's something you have to understand, that they are going to be separated because the market is a discounting mechanism for the future, right? There's a lot of optimism and hope right now in the markets. Is this optimism and hope going to continue? What if we see a second wave?
Yep. And, that's not priced in, I don't believe, because the market just continues to go up. And that is what you need to realize is if people had this crystal ball, people like Luke and I wouldn't have jobs.
Right.
We'd be sitting on some beach somewhere with our $1 million house and enjoying our life and just importing whatever we need. And we'd stay away from all of this because we'd have unlimited funds because we could pick ups, we could pick downs. We'd get it right every time, right?
I had a crystal ball. I'd just pick a lottery ticket.
Right? Common sense right now. The global markets are pretty much shut down to an extent. They're starting to reopen slowly, but they were shut down. Why does the market go up every single day? If you were a betting man and you see all this chaos, all this bad news, you'd guess down, right?
I have one answer. Fear of missing out.
Exactly.
People are afraid to miss out on the upside because they know the markets are irrational, especially now. Like, we all see that the markets should be going down with the economy because the economy is so bad, but it's not. So people are realizing this and like, oh, I don't want to miss out on more gains. I'm just going to buy into the market because the market only goes up. You keep on hearing it. People say the market only goes up.
Yep. Like, I don't know if you guys seen that meme. Stonks go up,
Stonks
right?
go up. So because of that, I mean, people are just buying. They're not afraid. For the market to drop again, we need to see more panic. We need to see panic and pain start to be felt from the market dropping. Because when people invest here at this level, we start to see a 10-15% decline, and these people are down 10-15%, they might start freaking out again, and we could see very, very heavy selling pressure. That is the issue.
Yep.
If nobody panics, if the market stays where it's at and just slowly trades either sideways or goes up slowly, we're not going to see the panic that a lot of these bears need to make money.
Right. And this is where active management becomes so important. Having that sound investment strategy in place, being that long-term investor, if you're trying to time the market right now, you're most likely going to lose, right?
You can never time the market. You should never time the market.
Yeah. So
unless you're a professional trader.
So having passive management. So if you think of index funds or things that just track the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ or what have you, that worked the past 10 years. It was great. Everything went straight up. You know, it didn't matter. But now I know that there's going to be winners and there's going to be losers coming out of this. And if we aren't able to separate the winners from the losers with active management, so if you're holding maybe a retirement fund, you know, maybe you're holding a 2035 retirement fund in your 401k, you're holding planes, you're holding cruises, you're holding the winners and the losers, and you need to realize this. There may be a lot of international exposure and you don't realize it.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, nobody knows what's going to happen within the United States. But, I mean, the thing is, the United States knows we have to get open because of the economy, right? The United States is the strongest economy in the world. These other countries, I mean, a lot of these smaller countries, and if you're invested maybe over in the smaller areas, who knows when they're going to reopen? Who knows when they get back to normal? Because they can stay shut. It's not going to have that material of an impact necessarily over the entire world. So the most certain place right now, even though it's still uncertain, is the United States.
Yep. I mean, that's definitely where I would want to be majorly. I mean, even if you're in China, do you trust their data?
I don't trust their data. I'll tell you that up front right now.
Yeah,
China data is flawed and inaccurate. I'll say right now. So
you just have to be very particular. I think active management the next 10 years is going to outperform passive management. You know, it worked, but I don't think it's going to work moving forward. I mean, you think about small caps. So those small companies normally really outpace in a coming out of a recession, right? That's not going to happen for all small cap companies. So if you hold a small cap index, you own some of those that aren't going to make it.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to pick and choose what companies are going to be able to adapt, that are going to be able to be a part of this new world that we're living in, and which are going to be left behind.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you need to realize that there has to be a cosmic shift of the way you're thinking nowadays.
I mean, you mentioned getting left behind. The small caps, you know, some of the ones that are going to come out stronger rather than other ones who might come out, you know, weaker or stronger. Mm-hmm. People are going to get left behind from this. I mean, it's like 08, 09. You know, the thing is, people in 08, 09, some people came out very strong out of 08, 09, and they got ahead. A lot of people didn't come out very strong. They got really hurt, and they never came back out strong ever again. That's the thing. These scenarios are where you have to look for pockets of opportunity to make sure that you do come out stronger. I mean, I hate to say, these bad scenarios that happen, you have to position yourselves to come out strong. Because if you do, you can really take advantage of it and set yourself up for a lot of success down the road. Because we only get so many of these like opportunities where the market drops, or like we just saw, if the market might not go back down. Mm-hmm. If it doesn't go back down, you just missed out on the 30% drop where you could have bought in. If you were cash, you had some cash on the sidelines.
Yep.
Like that's where the fear of missing out happens. But these once a decade opportunities is where you get rich.
And with him saying the bottom, I remember the exact day the bottom was, because that was when I was the most scared. Yeah. I was the most fearful.
We were looking at Penn stock at $3.90.
Yeah,
remember that? Penn's trading at $15 a share right now.
And we just had no idea where we were going from here, and there was so much uncertainty. The market hates uncertainty. So I'll say it again, when there's blood in the streets, that is when you should buy. So you need to realize, like right now, when things are hopeful, I have some cash sitting on the sidelines. I don't know if I'm deploying it, you know, at least not all at once, you know.
That's the thing. Cash is a position.
Yep.
A lot of people see cash as not a position. It's just cash. It's just sitting there doing nothing. While that's true, cash is a position in itself, and you got to think of it as a position within your portfolio. It's a strategic position.
Yep. I know in our portfolios here, a lot of our big portfolios have 10% cash, which is a lot more than you see normally when you're working with an investment firm, and that is happening for a reason. They are waiting for those opportunities to deploy that cash and get that outperformance, get that alpha, as we call it in the investment community.
Alpha, delivering alpha.
Right.
It's a good conference. I went to the conference and I worked at CNBC. It was actually a really good opportunity. But delivering alpha, I mean, that's what our job, what a part of our job is, right? Mm-hmm. Is delivering that alpha, making sure that you do get some type of benefit on your portfolio or overall your financial situation. And that comes from the financial plan and everything else that we do here.
Yep. So for those who don't know what alpha is, it's outperforming the index. So everything being equal, apples compared to apples. You can't compare an apple to an orange. You can't compare a stock to a bond, right? But if you're looking at, large cap stocks compared to large cap stocks, if you have the same basket of goods, did you pick the winners and are you outperforming that index? Let's take the S&P 500, for example. So that's what alpha means, outperforming the index, picking the winners, active management. So, I appreciate all the information you're putting out here today. I think we've gotten a lot of things to think about from this moving forward. So if you have questions about maybe how you're positioned or you just the overall economy and what do we mean by it's kind of two separate things, the economy and the stock market? What does that mean? Leave a comment below. We'd be more than happy to answer those questions, interact with us, give us those ideas to talk about. I think it will bring a lot more value to these for individuals.
As you can
forward.
see, we enjoy talking about a lot of different things. Like we just don't want to talk about just finance at all because listen, the situation, coronavirus, what we're seeing right now happen in the overall world is more than just finance. I mean, it's literally people, it's psychology, it's everything incorporated. So that's why we have to talk about things other than finance to make sure that we all fully understand what is happening and get the right information across. But let me ask you this, Joe. What are you doing this weekend?
Oh God.
Things are slowly starting to open up. We have some non-essential businesses that open up May 1st. Not much, but we have construction now going on. So at least some things are opened up. You still can't go to the restaurants or bars, but what are you going to do?
So last weekend, I spent Saturday and Sunday kayaking because we had 70-degree weather. Now it's snowing.
Now it's 34 degrees.
Right. So I'm not going out, to be honest. I'm still saving money. I'm actually just accepted an offer on a house, so definitely got to start saving money.
Yeah.
But I'm one of those people where if there's the glass and there's the face mask as you're walking in, I don't think I'm going to enjoy that experience as much as I would. So I'm going to stick with my tight-knit group of people that have been my crew, quarantine crew. Yep. And I'm just going to enjoy this weekend as much as I can.
I like to hear that. I think I'm going to go fishing. I've been fishing a while.
You're going to be cold.
I know I'm going to be cold. But I heard tomorrow it's going to be 48 degrees, so wear a sweatshirt, wear a jacket. I think I'll be fine. But thank you guys for listening to our first video podcast. Yep. I actually really enjoyed this. I think it was a lot of fun.
Yep.
And, like I said, we're looking forward to doing more of these.
All right. Have a great day.